Hey everybody, welcome to Tea Time with Amy and Bev. What's up, girl?
Good day. I don't know. I stepped outside and it's going to be a beautiful day outside.
Nice.
I've been spending time appreciating the weather, regardless of whatever it is,
Yeah.
because really that's the whole world has an effect or is affected by what's affecting us, really. And it's recognizing the blessings and everything. And when I heard that the other day, it's like this is happening for me. But then when I heard everything's a blessing, it's like, so it's finding the blessings, or like you would have said a long time ago, it's finding the nuggets. It's like there's a blessing. So what's a blessing in this for me? And it's asking that question to self. Just kind of rephrasing some of the terminologies and the words that we've used or I've used, and kind of being aware of what's going on. For instance, like being aware of what we're saying. If I drink this, I have this chocolate cacao It's not a coffee, but it's like, I think it's got a little bit of caffeine in it, probably from whatever, but it's got like mushrooms, it's got a mushroom blend and all this good stuff in it. And then I've noticed that I've been crashing, but yet I have a conversation with a person yesterday, which I laughed about this morning, but I had a conversation with a person yesterday. I'm like, yeah, well, you can add some cinnamon. If you're gonna eat something like that, add some cinnamon to it. And it's like, I won't crash if I just have a little cinnamon with that, and it's gonna taste delicious anyways. So it's like, it's just recognizing all this information that we have constantly flowing through us. And it's so prevalent when we're giving advice or when we're giving a recommendation to someone, which is still the same thing, but it's just being in awareness of that, because it's always there. The information is always there. We get so stuck and caught up in things when the answers are right there.
So true.
I mean, I've done it. I do it.
Oh yeah.
I've still done it. Yeah. So it's like, hasn't gone away. I was listening to Kyle Cease today too, and he's talking about, like, even for the month of February, we're going to notice a lot of different changes going on with ourselves, because we're letting go of the smaller self, he calls it.
Yeah.
And so because that's led by ego and everything else, and it's recognizing how interconnected we are with everybody. So it's like, and the smaller self can't recognize that in a lot of ways, but we're going through so much growth, and that's why it's so beneficial for us to, like, we're putting out these videos, and it's so beneficial for us to be that ripple for the world, because everybody's going through something and it looks a little bit different for them, and we've been there.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still going through it, but we have a different perspective. Like, just like I said a little while ago, it's like, what's the blessing in this?
Yeah.
So
I was at a
that's where I'm at.
conference. I was at a conference for 4 days, 3 days. And the keynote speaker on the last day, um, she was talking and she used the word intuition. And this is in a room full of people from the western side of the United States for the Chamber of Commerce. And she said she used it a couple times, and it was common, it was just like common language now. And then somebody asked a question and she answered it, but somebody at another table asked, are you telepathic? And everybody laughed, and she said, the keynote speaker said, no, I'm just very intuitive. Like, this is just becoming common language now, whereas, you know 30 years ago, when I was looking into this stuff, we didn't talk about this stuff. You didn't say words like that. And I'm loving how this is becoming the norm. Like, mental health is becoming the norm. People are talking about it. It's personal development. It's the norm. And so, yeah, I love how the evolution of things, because the more this stuff is relevant to us, and more relevant to conversations, the more we are shifting and changing. And the lower self, the I would say the egotistical side of ourselves, the human side of ourselves is evolving, and we're becoming more and more intuitive, more and more um, interested in our own evolution on an individual basis, and then recognizing how that's affecting us collectively.
I agree.
It's uh, it's it's cool. It's just
It
cool.
is. It is. I know I've recognized for a while, like how we talk more about energy and frequencies, and now you're hearing all this different alternative therapies, light therapy, sound therapy. There's just so many different things that are going on right now. Really, when it starts really talking about how and guiding more people on how we heal ourselves, and it's not looking at the problems, it's not even really looking at the solution. It's like, how are you feeling right now? Like, are you in appreciation? Do you have gratitude? Because it's being in more of the space of I'm paying attention to where my energy is going, or what my energy's levels at, like right now. Oh, that's showing up in my experience. That person's talking crap. Okay, well, why is that in my experience right now, right? What's the blessing in this? And the blessing could be for me simply, where are you at with your vibes right now? Like, what frequency are you vibing at right now? Are you honoring yourself? So it's recognizing a lot of those different things. And I would say there's a lot of people out there, you know, you get lost down this place when you're in relationships and you're mirroring each other. You can get lost, or you can recognize all the blessings that are in that, and then recognize all these things are coming to the surface because they're ready to go. It's time. And even for me, like even having self-doubt, even like this TikTok thing, I've been posting up stuff, and I've had a few, like this morning I'm sitting here thinking, maybe this isn't really what I'm supposed to be doing. And then not even maybe 5 minutes later, I got a message from someone. Oh, I'm so glad I found you on TikTok. And I really needed that message that I heard last night or whatever. And it was like, okay, universe, I hear you. But it's
Yeah.
fast like that. And it's just being open to the information, and for me, it's not a bad thing for me to kind of be questioning things, because I want to be questioning things, because it makes me recognize just those kind of things. If I wasn't questioning, then I maybe would have taken the message to heart the way that it was given, in response to what my thoughts were. So it's like, those aren't bad things. It's to embrace all of that, right? It's just to recognize, oh, that little girl in me she still needs a little self-confidence, but it's okay. She's moving and she's doing a lot more. Like, gosh, before me, not I show up just the way I am. I don't hardly have any makeup on, or nothing. I am My hair is in between, growing out the natural colors to the old dyes and stuff like that. And it's like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. At first, when I first went to post up the video, I was like, I wasn't going to post it up. I don't know if I had talked about that, but I wasn't going to. And then I'm like, why am I so critical of myself? And it's like, who really cares? It's not about that. It's about the message. I think we did talk about it because you said it was about the message. And it really is about the message. It's not about all of this. It's not. It's about, where's my vibrational frequency at, right? So, but these are things that are coming up for February. This is the opportunity for us to be able to take a look at things for what they are, and shift, embrace those parts of us, love that part of ourselves, recognize that maybe me as a child needed a little more boost of confidence, or somewhere along the line something made me believe that I wasn't worthy or wasn't deserving. And it's like, it's okay, because whoever taught me that was coming from that same place of unworthy and not deserving. So it's okay, but I'm recognizing that doesn't feel good. I want to feel good. And what's the opposite of that? So that's what I do a lot of the times. I'm looking at the opposites of if I see something that I don't really care for, then I'm looking at what would I do differently? How would I want to feel differently? And doing that in journaling, I do it every single day. Like, I haven't missed it. I could probably go back and look at the date. I could, but it's like, I've just been doing it every single day, every single day. So my focus is really on self, because if I'm not working on this right here, how can I expect anything else out beyond me to shift or change? And not to have expectations for any of that to change, because I'm not doing any of this for that. I'm doing this for me, because I feel lighter and lighter. I'm less reactive about stuff. I'm softer. I'm more loving, and I'm learning what that looks like on a daily basis. I wanted God just to come down and freaking touch my heart, or Jesus, and like totally open me up and be done with, just burst me wide open with grace and ease, of course. But and it's like it has been a slow progress. I guess I would look at it as a slow progress. They might say, you're progressing just perfectly the way you are. And so it's like again, that's a judgment thing on my side, like having an expectation to be at a certain place by a certain time. Why? Like, why would I put that expectation on me? I'm the only one doing it to myself. It's not anybody else doing it to me. So it's just like being able to reflect and look at all this stuff.
I'm right there with you. I get it. That finding those blessings in the moments, in the experiences, whether they're amazing experiences or they absolutely suck. There's
Yeah.
typically something that I'm going to say good comes out of every situation. And it's, to me, learning about yourself is good. Even if it's just you learn something about yourself, that's good. You learn what your strengths are, you learn what your weaknesses are. That's good, because then you can decide, if you recognize your weaknesses, do I want to do anything about it? You can decide, when you recognize your strengths, do I want to enhance those? We've been taught to I know during my upbringing and the things I've been in, that we've been taught to focus. Well, if you know your strengths and your weaknesses, focus on your weaknesses and make them better. And now the tables have turned. It's like, no, recognize your weaknesses, but build on your strengths. And so through, just to look back on experiences that I've had, confidence has been a huge thing for me, of not having it and building that. And so when you talk about, doing a video on TikTok and then not wanting to post it, I get that. The first video I didn't do it live. I recorded it, and it took me at least 15 times to record it, because I was stumbling my words, or what I forgot what I was going to say, or whatever the case may be. But like 15 times to record it. And then, do I really want to put this out there? Because now it's out in the ethers, right? It's available to everybody. So, yeah. So building confidence in this lifetime has been huge. And one of the things I've recognized in myself, as my confidence gets better, I get a little frustrated with the people who I've been looking towards for the leadership roles, and they're not showing up fully in those roles. And I notice and recognize, like, and not to be egotistical about it, but I'm just like, oh my God, I could be doing this so much better than them. They're just making me crazy right now, because I've been looking up to them for this long, and now I'm there, and I'm like looking at them going, what the fuck? Come on. let's get on the train here. And so now it's a practice of, do I step in and take it on and move forward, or do I pull back and be like, it's stay in your lane, right? They tell you, stay in your lane, do your thing, and that's theirs. So this is where I'm at. I'm kind of struggling now that I've really stepped into my confidence, and I'm growing in leadership. That the frustration level with some people, learning to navigate that within myself, and again recognize, okay, being a leader, how do I want to be portrayed by others who are learning? How do I want to show up in front of a group of people who are looking at me to make those decisions or give them guidance? So even though I'm feeling some level of frustration with the people I've been looking up to, I'm still learning about myself, and it always comes back to that. So even though I'm using the word frustration, it's a good thing because I'm recognizing it and now I get to do something about it. And it's not about them changing. It's not about how they are. That's the way they've been this entire time. It's just I feel like I'm getting better in myself, and I'm saying this in a way of comparison, not again, not from an egotistical manner. It's like evolving beyond what they were showing me.
Well, they're no longer your teacher, right? So they were a teacher at one point,
Yes.
and in so many ways, it's just to practice the patience to sit on the sidelines and recognize this is another aspect of me that's growing, and I get to witness their growth in front of my eyes. If you would have had all those same feelings, like even for me, maybe you have had some frustrations, like as far as my growth or like me stepping up to the plate to do things, it's going through that part. And it's the blessing and is like, it's helping me recognize, okay, to be in patience. I was looking at one of my friends' posts on the same app that we were talking about, and I'm looking at it and it's posting like this person's like ridiculing her and talking about her teeth and saying, we don't do that. We always hold someone's crown up. And I'm thinking that my 3D self would be like, listen, bitch, you're doing the same fucking thing. You're not being supportive right now. You're not being loving. But on the other side of that, it's to recognize that person needs to be seen and heard.
Yeah.
They may not be showing up the way we want them to show up, but if we look at them as a kid throwing a little temper tantrum, needing to be seen, it's just like we don't have to say anything. It's just send them love and light. That's all we have to do. So it's like to be patient and supportive. And it's good because that I'm saying that kind of stuff because if it comes up to me, it's for me to recognize because it's for me too. It's for me to recognize if someone says something about me or, they whatever, to recognize this isn't about me. This isn't about me, but it is for me to have patience, send love to that person, know that I was in a growth phase at one time or another that was in that same phase. And now the thing is we've just evolved past it. And that's where you become the master. When you become the master, you're patient with anybody around you, even if they come and say, "Oh, my stomach's killing me. I don't know what's the problem," even though we know what might be the problem, right? Um, I'm talking about my granddaughter, like even for her, because I know that she's having issues. So then I find a different way to approach her, or I ask God, how can I do this? And I'm still patient in that space. It's just recognizing that there's so much growth to be had by these experiences that we're having. And it's not anything, it's not like you said, it, it's judgment or not, not that you were judging, but I'm using judgment because even though I was judging even that person that was judging the other person, really, quite literally. And it's like it's recognize those places because these are nuggets, right? These are the blessings to let us know this is where I'm at right now, and how do I evolve through this? How can I see through God's eyes? And so it's constantly just watching, like, look at all these people around you. If you're sitting in this group, recognizing these are all children, these are all God's children right now, and I'm watching them where they're at. But on the other side of that, you know that you've evolved, and so where's this going to take you to next? Because now you're at. It's just like when people go on a diet and they get at that level that they're just at a, what do they call it?
Plateau.
A plateau. I was going to say a platform, and that wasn't
They're on the
recognizing.
platform.
Yeah, the plateau. When they get to the plateau, it just means that there's another shift needs to happen. That's all, or
Yeah.
something. Another shift is about to happen. So to me, it's like you recognizing, oh wow, I'm about to shift because that's what it is. That's
Yeah.
that I can feel that in me that that's what's about to happen for you. So it's not because you're recognizing all those things and you're not taking it on and you're just looking at it just like as if it almost seems like you're looking at it from a third party perspective in a lot of ways, like witnessing that that was the feeling, and it's like you're evolving past that. You're going to be past that, and then now you become, because that's what we're here for. Now you become the teacher, and now you help yank. You don't have to yank them, but you help slingshot them forward from where they're at right now,
Right.
because they just got a little cog in the wheel. That's all.
It's interesting that there's a particular person in my life who is in a leadership role, and she signed us up for these different classes, and right now we are in a year-long leadership program. We meet once a week for 2 hours, and there's 6 or 7 of us in this class. And what I find interesting, because I watch her, and it happened at this conference too, is that whenever anything comes up about personal development or looking at yourself or diving a little deeper, there's distractions. Oh, I gotta go do this. Oh, I got a phone call. Oh, right. And it's a constant avoidance. And the people who want to be there and who want to dive into this and pay attention and take the notes and participate, stay. And it's just interesting. I've always been a people watcher, and that's the way I've learned a lot of my stuff is watching people. And so just watching this particular person in the role that she's in, and it's just very interesting dynamic. So you just know the people who are very in it or are in it to learn about themselves and grow and expand, and those people who are not.
They're just not ready.
Yeah. And it's not anything bad about anybody about where they're at.
Right.
Everybody's showing up in the way they know how to, and I know that. I
Yeah.
know that. I am just talking about my experience and what I'm observing, how I'm observing people, and what I'm processing for myself. And it's not a judgment against her or anything. It's just very interesting that, oh, I think it'd be great if we do this and we'll all do it together, and we get in there, and then I mean it's only like our second weekend. And then she's already avoiding things, and I'm like, oh God.
That's
But
because of
at
soul,
this,
right? The soul kind of wants, it's kind of moving
yeah,
the person forward. So when they're not thinking, they're like, because I've been that person,
yeah,
do you want to move forward? You're like, that's a great idea. And it's like when it comes up to, it's like, oh, look at the time, gotta go.
yeah,
Oh gosh,
right, right,
I
yeah,
think my bells were talking to me. I understand that conversation
yeah,
because we want to, but we're just not ready sometimes. And I like where you're coming from because you're looking at it from because it showed up in your experience, and so you're just looking at it like you're watching a movie and being like, hmm,
yeah. That's interesting.
yeah.
And honestly, leadership has been a focus for me for a little while now. And here comes this class. There's no cost to me, and it's a year-long program, and I get to be in it. It's a leadership program. And
Yeah,
so if that's all this was about, was the connection for her to say, let's do this, and it was, I get to do it, then great. Then
100%.
then she served her purpose. And if she's not interested in participating 100%, great. That's her choice. I know I'm fully taking advantage of this and being in it. So I'm very blessed, right? This is the
Yeah,
blessings that
yeah,
even though
absolutely.
even though my leader is not 100%, I am blessed with the opportunity to have be in this class. So
Yeah, because it just created a doorway, like you said. So it's
yeah,
just it was an opportunity. And right, we get to choose. And so it's like I can choose to be in the same space or I can choose to be different, to step forward. I'm gonna put a sign on my door that says it's for donations only, and it's gonna say on it spiritual guide, psychic medium, channeler, healer, because I do all those things.
yeah,
But it's gonna say something along the lines like, let's see what shows up for you.
yeah,
Because I get to play and I
right,
get to see what comes up because I get stuff all the time. And how can I flex those muscles if I can't step out of that box? And so there's so much happening with me this month that I'm just like stepping out. I'm just stepping out. It's like it's going to be whatever it's going to be. And there might be some ridicule and there might not be. I don't care. I'm going to love each and every person. I listened to this. I think her name is Reverend Jane. I sent her to you. I don't know if you had a chance to listen to that.
I haven't
Um,
yet, but I did
yeah,
get,
you were away on your
yeah,
work week.
yeah,
But it's like she's awesome. She gives so much information. She channels or she talks to, well, she channels 12 archangels. She talks to the angels and she's like so much information that's so valuable, even to her saying to the point of, I am a disciple to my higher self. And when I say that kind of stuff, I feel it. Like it feels like this feels so freeing. And throwing L at the back of your name, like Amy L. because we're of God. So it's like it's remembering that stuff. And if you, she even said like say it 3 times, and it because it kind of it raises your vibrational frequency, it almost brings you into alignment. And I don't say these things for everybody just to go out and do or that this is the end all be all, but I'm saying feel it, like see what it feels like. And so I'll say my name. I am Beverly L. I am Beverly L. I am Beverly L. And it's like whatever, just saying that makes my solar plexus feel better. It makes my energy feel better. So it's like it's just being an awareness of this lady. And I'm listening to her. At first I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna listen to this because it's not a typical person I listen to that does interviews. And then I did, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is such a blessing, a blessing. It really is. Such a different perspective, and I love it. Like I'm all over the board lately, Joe Dispenza, and then Kyle Cease, and then Reverend Jane, and like all these different people that I'm listening to. And then I have my other things that I listen to on a regular basis anyways, like Suzanne Giesman. So there's just information that I find it fascinating. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. I kind of went down, I would say a rabbit hole, but it's not anything. When people talk about rabbit hole, they're like going through all this other, looking at all the government and all that stuff. And for me, it was totally different. I'm listening to this reading, and she's talking about the Hathars. I don't, the Hathar sisters or something like that. And then she starts talking about the 7 sisters, and I'm like, I gotta go look this stuff up. And so I start going to look at this stuff, and then I find a long time ago, I had a visit while I was sleeping when I was in Estes Park of Indian woman, and she had a white buffalo calf with her. And then I was told that's the white buffalo woman. And I was like, okay, but I couldn't understand anything she was saying at all. And so here I'm listening to all this stuff, and then they're talking about the 7 sisters, and I'm like, I'm gonna go look this up. And so I go out of that page and I look at my screen on my phone, and it's got 7 on the YouTube, and I was like, well, that's funny, like that's hilarious. And then I go and I start looking up the 7 sisters and learning about that kind of stuff. And then I go look up the white buffalo woman, and there's like 7 things that they do, or 7 it's like rituals or whatever. And I was like, you just can't make this stuff up. You just can't. And so then that urged me to go find, because I would like to have said that I've written down all my dreams and experiences that I have when I'm sleeping, but I haven't. And so the ones that I have, I'm like, I know I got this somewhere, and I find the white buffalo. I was looking for that white buffalo because I wanted to see when it was, and it was, gosh, I think it was like 2011 or 2010, somewhere around that time. And I went looking for it, but then I start going through all my notebooks, and then I'm starting to read all these dreams and all the times that I did document stuff, and I'm like, holy shit! Like all these angels, these ascended masters, these archangels, they've been in my Baba G. Like I don't ever remember looking at Baba G even years ago, but then all of a sudden here it's come back into my experience again. It's like it's went this full cycle. And the thing that I would say that I noticed is I was in an awareness back then. I was focused on that, and now I'm back into that awareness again. And they're like, we're still right here. We've never left you. We're still right here. And so it's just fascinating to go back and look at that stuff. There's so much stuff in there. It's like, holy crap, how do we not recognize the gifts that we are to the world? Like how, when I look at that and I'm like, I was being told this stuff all along, everything that I said that I'm going to put out there, but I didn't have the confidence, even still, to even write down I wrote down medium, like, and then I wrote down, and then finally, like a week later, I wrote down psychic medium, because this is my journey, and it may not look exactly the way that Suzanne does it, or Tyler Henry, or the Long Island medium, but there's a way that I'm receiving information. And it's not to discount that, it's to allow to love and honor myself and allow that to flow through myself. But we don't know these things until we finally figure it out. And I'm not coming from an ego place by any means. It's a realization that this stuff's always been pursuing me. It's always been there. How many times have I asked what my path is, or what am I supposed to be doing? And it's like, how many times have I had these dreams, but not being in awareness that I'm asking the questions and then allowing those answers to come forward. At that time, I was asking a million questions a minute, and you're going to get all kinds of answers, but it may not make sense to you because you're not even in awareness of what was the question I asked. So it's like all this stuff is like coming to, and so today I'm going to spend time in going through all my notebooks, take out all the things that I've ever written and organizing them, and then taking a look at them and reading them. just crazy stuff that I wrote. And I'm like, I don't even remember this stuff. I don't remember it.
Yeah.
And it's just mind boggling, really, to not be in awareness that, or not remember some of that stuff. Some stuff I do remember, but some stuff I'm like, holy shit, that was pretty big. Why didn't I think that was a big deal? Because I discount it because I just discounted it because I'm not special. I'm not, no, we are all special. And it's to recognize that. And that's really what it's letting us know is we've got all these gifts that we're just not even utilizing.
Hmm.
Just like the suit, we have this whole vehicle that we travel around in and we don't even use half of our gauges. Probably don't even use a third of them, a tenth of them.
It's true. And that's a whole nother path we could go down.
Yes.
Conversation. But we'll save that for the next conversation.
Nice.
But yes, we are all blessings and we are all blessed. Even in the good and the bad, the ugly, the neutral, the fun, the not so fun. There's blessings everywhere. And it's up to us to recognize them, to hone in on them, and to honor them. And really take that information and do some self-reflection as well. And this is how we learn and grow. And gratitude as well as blessings are filled with gratitude. And you can't be you can't be grateful and angry at the same time. It's not something that's possible for us to do. So practice that more often. Be grateful for those blessings as you recognize them as you're moving through life, bumping around, trying to figure it out, just like the rest of us. And just know you're okay. You're okay right where you're at. You're okay with whatever you're going through. Everything is temporary. Everything is you're going to move past it in some way. Just be open to the blessings that you learn along the way, that you receive, and just be very grateful. Have an open heart to be grateful for what you do get out of it. Do you have any final words, Bev, as we wrap this up?
I would say that you matter and don't quit discounting yourself. Quit putting yourself to the side. Take a long look at yourself and enjoy this journey.
Yeah. Yeah. But we're actually here to do. Anyway, thank you for hanging out with us. Tea Time with Amy and Bev. We are found on many platforms: YouTube, Facebook, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Podcast Addict, Spreaker, Spotify, and you can find Bev on TikTok now, so go check her out and see the amazing words that she has to share. If you're getting anything from our conversations or from her videos, then please share those, be resourceful, and share them with your friends and family and coworkers, because we're all seeking information that's going to help us move through this life with grace and ease. And you could be that person to just share a link. So, or be brave and have the conversations. So with that, thanks for hanging out with us. Tea Time with Amy and Bev, and we will see you next time.
Bye.